10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much. About 2 years ago, I started producing a lot more content on my YouTube, even though I started my channel maybe 5-6 years ago when I started my own diastasis recti healing journey. But really until 2 years ago, I really put out a lot of content, and thank you so much for all your support. So 2 weeks ago, I made a post to celebrate the celebrations, and I actually gave away one coaching spot to one of you subscribers, and I asked what kind of questions you guys have for me and what kind of content should I be producing. So a lot of you gave me a lot of good questions. Oh, if I have 2 fingers gap, oh, if I have 4 fingers gap, can I heal it? Oh, I have twins pregnancy, it's been so many years, 5 years, 6 years, 11 years, can I still heal it? And also one of the other common question is a hernia. If I have a hernia and if I have diastasis recti, what would happen? Can I heal it? So I wanted to address it in this video today on some of those common questions. Especially I'll dive deeper into a hernia because I have made a video a long time ago and I wanted to just update you on what's gonna happen if you have a hernia and diastasis recti and what you need to do. Now, very often some professional would misdiagnose that hernia is diastasis recti or diastasis recti is a hernia. It happens to me. When I didn't know that I had diastasis recti back then, I went to a chiropractor, I think a few months after postpartum, thinking that something may be wrong with my posture. So when I showed the doctor my belly, it was coning up. Like I do a crunches to him and then I show him this is coning. Because when you do a crunches, usually if you're not able to manage the core pressure, it cones so easily. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? And the chiropractor doctor was like, oh, this is a hernia. You need to go to a hernia clinic to get a surgery done. I went to the hernia clinic and it was not a hernia. So I went back to my doctor and the doctor told me that it's actually a diastasis recti. And the reason why people confuse about it, it does share some of the similarities, and also hernia and diastasis recti came from a very similar risk factors, risk environment. So of course, pregnancy and postpartum is the main cause for us mama here. Lots of pressure inside to grow the baby, to have that environment. And the bigger it gets, the wider your muscles has to stretch. That's why the linea alba and the midline kind of stretch open, causing that gap in the middle of the abdomen. And then with the hernia, because this gap is stretched and the muscles here is thin, it will cause a hole for fats, sometimes organ, and then kind of protrude out because it's so stretched and thin. That's the main difference between a diastasis and hernia. Now, diastasis recti doesn't cause the hernia. It's the pressure from the abdomen, from pregnancy, chronic coughing, or like chronically doing the raw movement that causes issues. That's why you hear people say, don't do crunches, don't do plank, don't do sit-up, because those are the things that causes a lot of abdominal pressure pushing out when you're not able to manage it. And that is the reason causing the hernia. One of the most obvious symptoms for umbilical hernia is the belly button being outy. Like before baby, you had a nice, any belly button. Well, I don't have a belly button, but if I'm pulling my skin up, like you can see, it's still an innie. For a while, I thought I also have a hernia. I checked it a couple of times because I wasn't believing it because my stomach was protruding for a long time. And then I went to the doctor, went to the hernia clinic, did an ultrasound. Also, again, went back to the hernia clinic because they are the only surgical clinic in my area. The thing they do is a really simple coughing test. I didn't believe that. I wanted somebody to check inside to see if there's a hernia. So it turned out I really didn't have it. Yeah, sometimes you just have to trust your gut feeling. Don't just take 1 or 2 words for it. Like that's what I learned from the whole experience of postpartum healing and working with a lot of clients, that you can't trust that first person. Like if the gut feeling is telling you something else, you should really go with your gut feeling. Now with hernia, the symptom, like I say, you could be an outy belly button. For some people, it can cause pain. If you press around the belly button or if you do certain movement, bending or picking up your baby, whatnot, it can cause pain around that area. The belly button being an outy, or maybe its surrounding area, might not be necessarily the belly button. Maybe another area like right beside it, like you see a bump kind of come out, but kind of go in as well. So in and out. So that's also a really big indicator that there's a hernia there. For some people, it does not hurt. For some people, it hurts. Of course, if you're symptomatic, you need to see the doctor to see what's the next step and treatment. If you are asymptomatic, and I work with a lot of clients that are asymptomatic with the hernia and at the same time working on the diastasis recti. Because if you work on the diastasis recti, closing this gap together, right, there's a hole there. You cannot close the hole. There's no way you can do the exercises, eat whatever to close the hole. It's not possible. Only surgery can patch it up. But if you are working on your diastasis recti from like, let's say 3 fingers, bring it down to 1 finger, strengthening the muscles around the tissues, around the area, and protect the hernia from protruding out more or getting it worse. So regardless whether you have a hernia or not, you need to strengthen that area, right? Your core needs to have muscles, need to be worked on in order for you to flatten the stomach, first of all. And for you to do anything, you need your core, you need to have core strength. Take her, for example, you can see the belly button is an LT, right? And when she started working with me, she was 1 year postpartum. She's a mother of 1. She also had a pretty wide diastasis recti, from 3 fingers at the top to 3 fingers at the bottom. So it's an open diastasis recti, middle is even 2 knuckles deep. Now, after working with her for 4 months, we are actually almost able to heal the diastasis recti. You can see the stomach is a lot more flattened. And even the protruding belly button sort of flattens too, but it doesn't go in, okay? It doesn't go in. So you can see that it was pointing out like that. It's a lot more in now. So this will happen if you work on closing your diastasis recti. Here is also another example of a mom with DR. She was 6 months postpartum, mom of 2, 4 fingers, 2.5 knuckle, open diastasis recti as well. You can see again, very protruding pointy belly. That's also another symptom of moms with DR and hernia. It's a pointy or very rounded bulging belly. The belly button, you can see even through the clothes, it's pointing out. And after working with her for about 4 months again, we were able to bring down the diastasis recti gap, and also the depth of it is also very important at 0.5 knuckles. And she lost some weight. So this is very hopeful. Moms might be thinking, is it possible to heal? It's definitely possible. Now, you're probably wondering, what did they do? Did they do anything differently from moms without the hernia and diastasis recti? The thing is, it's not much difference. You're still working on the core strength here. You're still working on pressure management and posture and everything else, nutrition and everything else. You just have to know that the exercises is challenging enough for you, but at the same time, you can mind to muscles connect where you can control the core pressure. If you don't understand what core pressure is, it just means that the pressure, it's causing you to bulge the belly. The pressure is causing you to dome, making a weird shape on the belly. And then like the coning, the midline that is kind of protruding out, that is the reason why it's causing the hernia, right? Because of the intra-abdominal pressure, coughing, sneezing, jumping on the trampoline, swimming, if it's, if you cannot control it, running, if you cannot control the way you're engaging your core. So those will have an impact. So some people ask, okay, is it okay for me to do these exercises, that exercises? I can't tell you for sure unless you know you can mind to muscles connect. That means if I'm like telling you to engage your core and breathe, right? Can you breathe in correctly? First of all, 360 breath, right? Go to my channel, take a look at my 360 breathing. And then on the next, okay, can you engage and draw in? Some people, a lot of the clients that I work with in the beginning, they are not able to connect with the belly button at all. Like if I tell them to lie flat on the floor, there's still a lot of pressure built up inside. And then it's even harder for them to control. So that's why nutrition, working on bloating, reducing bloating are so crucial, because then you can connect with your core muscles a lot better, a lot more efficiently. And then the strategy is about, okay, if you can mind to muscles connect, then, okay, working on core exercises, rebuilding that strength, right? Closing the gap. That is the goal here, closing the gap and the depthness of it. If you have like 2 knuckles, like some of these clients do, we wanted to bring it down to a nail deep. Now, the thing is with hernia, it's there, right? I will tell you, you cannot close completely. A lot of my clients, I think they will still have about 2 fingers gap, but the depth of it, we can still bring it down to a nail deep, especially if your hernia is not that big to begin with. Now, if you have a big hernia, again, please do go talk to your doctor whether you have symptom or no symptom. I think it's good for you to double check and see their opinion. Now, here's another mom with a hernia. She was about 1 year postpartum, mom of 2, had a C-section, 3 fingers to start and 1.5 knuckle deep. Open DR, the entire abdomen, and then the hernia. And then so 3 months with exercises, nutrition, abdominal massaging. So that really helped her to bring it in. And even the belly button kind of went inside too. We also did belly wrapping as well with this client. A lot of the questions that I get asked often too is like, I have 2 fingers, I have 4 fingers, or like I'm 4 years postpartum, I'm 10 years postpartum. It is possible, totally possible. Muscles are waiting for you to like actually be worked on. The only reason why you haven't seen flattening of the stomach is you're just not using the right strategy. A lot of the workout that you see on YouTube, like not my channel, okay? Because that's why I don't do a lot of workout videos, because every workout and every exercises react differently for each person, because the mind to muscles connection isn't there, the core engagement isn't there, like the posture is totally off when you're doing it. Happened to me so many times, and I didn't realize my posture was so off until much later. Yeah, it's not like the whole time I did it, yeah, I lost weight, I felt good, but like it doesn't really help my tummy. That's the reason why you're not seeing the result. And of course, consistency. I'm not gonna sugarcoat here. You're probably just like randomly picking out the workout and do one here, do the next one there. Like having no structure and no plan is not helping you neither. And it's a progressive overloading approach. That means like your exercises need to get harder and harder. Now, I want to share with you a few moms here who are later postpartum. She is 11 years postpartum with 4 kids. 3 fingers, 2 knuckles, right? Back pain. She does have a lot of weights to lose. So we worked on it for 9 months. Her DR is completely healed now. We were still working on losing the weight, but much stronger overall core. She can hike with her kids without any problem, without back pain. Another one here, 2.5 years postpartum, mama of 2, right? 2 fingers, 1 knuckle. Beautiful transformations. I'll show you just last one here, 4 years postpartum with 2 kids, really wide diastasis recti and the depth as well, right? Work on it for just 2 months. And you can see the results. So the thing is, that's what I'm saying. Like if you have a plan and a structure, it will work so much faster for you. And if that's what you want, feel free to book a call with me, www.tummywarrior.com. You can take a look at the program and details, or just directly go down to the link down below and just book a free call with me so I can see what your situation is like, whether I can help you. I only help my clients if I'm confident enough to help them myself in the first place. I don't just take anybody. And then I will share with you some of my insights on what the journey will look like for you. So whether you decide to work with me or not, you'll still leave the call with some valuable tips. All right, awesome. Now I am focusing more on Instagram these days, just because it's easier for me to be on that platform and I'm quite active there. So if you have an Instagram account, check me out there, BeckyChoi_. I do actually daily contents there. And I know some of the comment on my post last week here about the celebration and ask you guys question. Maybe 2 comments I heard was like, oh, your videos are very informative but quite long. I want something short. No problem. In my Instagram, I have like those reels are like 1 minute long or shorter even. So you guys can just scroll through it and just take some of the tips and apply it to your own. Thank you so much for watching as always, and I can't wait to hear from you guys what you think from this video. Comment down below and I'll chat with you soon. Bye bye.